Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Trekking Across the Universe here on the NDB Media Network. Today is August 31st. Oh my goodness, August 31st! Already the last day of the month in 2023. Welcome, one and all. Of course, we are reviewing Star Wars Ahsoka, and we're going to be getting into the review of episode 3 in just a moment. Want to remind everyone to head on over to the ndbmedia.net website. As you see it on the crawl, the Chiron, the ticker, whatever at the bottom of the page, check it out. You also may find us on Twitter, Facebook, as well as Twitch. Don't forget, give us a like and subscribe. We're all old. Actually, most of us are old here, and we appreciate the follows. It makes us feel good. And we'll get to that little cheap shot I just took right now. And everyone in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Elizabeth, thank you. And Lothcat, thank you for joining us. Good evening. And don't expect me to purr or meow on air, but thank you, Lothcat. I want to welcome Senator Michael, of course, Darth Greg, and we'll get to our special and regular guest who is making his worldwide international, well, it is same one and the same, worldwide debut at this moment right
Galaxy?
now across the universe. So, yes. Jeffrey, good evening, young man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing real well. Thank you. This is, I suppose, the first time we officially meet. We had a phone conversation, which was real cool. And we are thrilled that you accepted our invite. And we're going to be getting down to it in just a bit. If you would like, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit? And Jeff, at this moment, be careful because everything you reveal is here forever.
Sure. Well, I'm Jeffrey. I'm 24. I live in Virginia. I won't get too specific, but I like Star Wars. Huge Luke Skywalker guy. Return of the Jedi is my favorite movie, so I like the original trilogy. I haven't seen too much of the shows in between Mando season 2 and now. So if there's some things that need to be filled in, just let me know. But yeah, up to date so far on what's going on in Ahsoka.
Excellent. That's actually quite a bit. And I'm not sure if you're watching some of the other programs, and we'll get a feel for that in a little bit. But no, you're good. We're going to be spending our time with Ahsoka. Everything else that you know will come into this because you've seen the first 3 episodes. Of course you have, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
There is quite a bit, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the blogosphere. But as a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw it, Jeffrey. I sent you a comment in our private chat. Only the 4 hosts can see it. None of the guests, such as Elizabeth and Lothcat, none of them can see that. Unless we highlight their comments, but they still cannot see yours. That's just between the hosts. I just want to let you know. Should have done that before we went live, but I didn't. But it's all good. Michael, why don't you go over some of the calendar items, and then we're going to get right into episode 3, or I'm sorry, part 3, Time to Fly. We'll get to that in a little bit. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, I just closed the screen. Of
course you did.
Because this is, whatever night of the week it is, it's Thursday. So, and we're actually trying to schedule a last minute guest for next week. Because they are, I'm not going to mention the name, but they are doing a fundraiser for the victims of the Hawaii wildfires a week from tomorrow. And so we're trying to get her on before she does. She's a comedian, and she's doing a comedy program in LA, actually. So it would be, so it would be nice. Now you know why, Roger, I wanted to tweak the schedule for next week. But coming up, we have our Trekking Across the Universe next week for strange. I'm in the wrong month. I'm in the wrong month. I said,
Yeah, you are in the wrong month.
I'm going like, that's not right. Okay. Star Wars Ahsoka 4. We also, do we have Travel Talk starting next week also?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. Not yet. Okay. And then, which we're excited about, on the 9th, we start Lower Decks at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Saturday night, our review show. And Aaron will be joining us from Australia. We're excited that Aaron's going to be joining us for these. And which I know Elizabeth is excited about. On Monday the 11th, we have Mercedes de la Cruz from the series The Ark coming back to visit us and discussing her artwork and season 1 of The Ark.
And this is her 4th visit with us now, correct?
4th, correct, yeah.
Don't forget, folks, you can find The Ark on Sci-Fi Channel on the internet, as well as through your local cable provider, and they are through Electric Entertainment.
And they can also stream it on Peacock.
All right.
Yeah.
Other than that,
yeah, I said, yeah. I can tell you one. Well, I can tell you one more.
Go ahead. Please.
Or 2 more actually. Glenn Wolfe, he does Star Trek fan films. He will be with us on the 18th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then our other special show is Seb Gower on the 15th of September. He is an artist from New Zealand, and so he will be joining us then.
Wow.
Very cool.
That is.
So all over the place.
Yes. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off. And don't forget, everyone, look, you know that a lot is going on in the network. Don't forget to please like, subscribe, and follow. It helps us out. You heard my joke earlier, but it's real. You're helping us get to 1 million followers. And once we get to 1 million, we get to a lot of, actually 1,000. But we are looking for 1 million. That's our goal. And once we get to 1 million, we're going to go to 2. So that is our goal. And we thank you and thank everyone. And we know that a lot of you are watching after the fact, and we get that. And we are eternally grateful. We are listening to your suggestions as to when we may have our program times, but it's also all of our schedules. So I believe that's going to be it. But as I say, please like, follow, and subscribe. We appreciate all of our channels. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel needed as well. You know, so at least we're not in the old folks' home yet, but that's neither here nor there. Yes, yes. So anyway,
I was there today.
He was.
I've been there too. Yeah,
Greg was there today. So
yeah.
I talked to him while he was going there.
Yeah. So then, is it Darth Greg or Jedi Greg? Which one is it, dude? You got to live up to
it. Darth Eye.
Darth. That's kind of like what I was calling the other characters last week. So I want to cheat a little bit.
Fuzzy Lord of the something.
I think I was calling them Sith Jedi or something like that. Those two, because I wasn't 100% certain, but I was honest. But Jeff, I know you weren't able to, obviously, and to the audience, you weren't with us. Some of your thoughts, if you are prepared. I know we didn't tell you we're going to do this, but some of your thoughts, real quick. Yeah, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome.
Yeah, put on the spot.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I just threw you, dude.
And he may ask you to give him a grade.
I'm not going to do that.
Today.
We'll do that. He can go back and give us a grade later, and we'll go over the grades of the last few weeks. But we are sticking to the American educational system, as good as it is, but whatever. I want to put you on the spot insofar as just some of your thoughts, not on watching us here, but some of the things that stood out for you. You don't have to give us a full review, but tell us what you thought about episode 1 and 2.
Episode 1 and 2. I think, comparatively to episode 3, there were obviously, I think episode 3 was a set, kind of like a set piece, kind of bridging what's about to happen and what happened in the first 2. It's setting up a lot of things. So I think 1 and 2, obviously introducing the characters, bringing some people back, kind of getting you to start answering the questions, and I think, or start asking questions and I think episode 3 really kind of started make you being like, oh, okay, I think I see where this might be going. So so far I've been really enjoying it.
Okay, that helps. That is cool. At any time you want to reference 1 and 2 or any other part of the universe as the conversation is going, we're just going to go ahead and do it. And yes, folks, I'm sorry. I did throw them into the deep end. And if anyone has an illusion that says that I threw them under the bus, no, please. Palpatine does not operate that way. Palpatine drives the bus. So keep
Okay.
that in mind. Yes, I don't throw people under the bus. I drive over them. So
Yeah, if Mercedes was here, she'd throw you out the airlock. So
yeah, that's good. And all kidding aside, Jeffrey, since you are now part of the Empire, both figuratively and literally, it is a bit of a joke, but it's real. You are now part of the NDB Media family. You do not have to ask to join any of the other programs. You are welcome as your schedule allows and as you so desire. Not expected, but the invitation is open. And I thank you, folks. You see it. This is the way it works. Elizabeth, Lothcat, and look, Jag. He saw one of our episodes, accepted our invite. Now he's a regular. Same thing with Greg and everyone else, and Jeffrey himself. So look, folks, it happens. It's just you wanting to do it. So we're gonna get to it. All kidding aside, folks. I'm not sure if it's going to be a free fall or we're going to take it beat by beat, but this is Star Wars Ahsoka Part 3, Time to Fly. It had a 37-minute runtime, and once again, as I alluded, it was written by Dave Filoni, and it was directed by Steph Green. And looking at our notes, Steph Green has now directed the last 2 episodes. And it looks like what I read early on is coming to the fore or coming to pass, or the prophecy is being foretold, that Dave Filoni wrote the entire series. So didn't mean he wrote it alone. It's just that he has the writing credit for everything. He directed part 1, and now Steph Green has directed episodes 2 and 3. As I
Now,
mentioned,
Roger, I have to apologize.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Greg.
I have to apologize to everybody. Last week, I had read that as Seth Green, and I was
you too? I had 2.
and
No, I did not.
I went back, and it's like, that's not Seth, that's Steph.
Yes.
Okay. So, because I'm like, wondering, I think Seth Green was involved with like Robot Chicken.
Yes.
And it's like,
he was a regular actor that was in a lot of the, I believe, 90s, maybe early 2000s flicks, high school flicks and stuff. Very popular character. Wonderful entertainer. But
comedy producer now.
Big time. Yeah. Just off Robot Chicken.
But I also know he's a huge Star Wars fan. So,
yeah.
It could have happened.
Yeah, and Jeffrey, as you see, if there's something to be said, jump in.
Okay.
I'm not going to always call on you, but we try to keep a little bit of order.
Yeah.
He calls on you when you're not expecting.
That's not done.
Like earlier.
Okay, yeah, that one was done on purpose. Yeah. Okay, I am responsible for that. But Lothcat, let me see. And trust me, would love to see you more, of course. And that is cool. That's directed at you, Jeffrey. So you already have your first fan right there. So Lothcat, Elizabeth, you can give us a like there on the Facebook pages. Give us a like. And we'll see. All right. So the teaser begins. I'm sorry. I paused because I felt movement, and I'm like, oh God, no! Don't tell me there's an earthquake. No, the chair was readjusting. I genuinely, I guess I really.
Yeah, you paused. Is it moving again?
You had a critter in there?
Actually, there might be a little bit of movement. I'm not too far from the freeway, and when these very heavy trucks come by, they can also cause some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But all kidding aside, there was a bit of movement for me to stop.
Should I check the earthquake center?
USGS.gov, folks. Anyway, in the opening teaser, Hu Yang is training Sabine, and of course, loved some of the comments by the Jedi, the not Jedi, Ahsoka Tano, where she says, "Not bad, but not good." So Ahsoka later on says, I want you to see that what's much more than just your eyes. Feel my presence. Take in all that is around you. Hear my voice. Sense my intention. And then they have an engagement, etc. And then when it all ends up, because she kicks her, nudges her, taps her, and Sabine's able to respond to a few things, but unfairly, she's not that force perceptive, as we know. It's been established. But she does have some, and it does show. And after the practice, which looked bad, Ahsoka very well said again. It wasn't dismissive. It wasn't condescending. It's good. Let's do it again. That's how I took it. What are some of your thoughts already of the teaser, Greg?
So this was nice to see. We didn't get to see much of training like it would happen in the Jedi Temple in the Clone Wars or in Rebels. Um, and here we see Hu Yang, with an extra little set of arms and four lightsabers like General Grievous, going through forms with Sabine to open with. I kind of thought it was like really cool with the holographic blades, and the scoring showed like where she had gotten the hits and
Yeah,
stuff.
that was cool. Yeah.
So the tech effects guy in me loved that. The blind helmet fighting. Okay, they've done it. But I thought it was done really well, almost as though they actually let the actress try to not just perform it but do it. I mean, I'm sure it was choreographed. She did start horribly, but she did get a few hits in, and later, I don't remember if it was here or later in the main. Well, they're still in the main cabin, but with the seats up. If it's mentioned that what she did succeed at came from her anger and frustration, and we all know what that leads to.
Yes, we do. Michael.
Well, I agree with Greg. I mean, it was. Yeah, I was thinking. I said, I wonder if they let her do this on her own. So, I mean, I agree with you, Greg. I felt the same thing when I was watching it. If they just kind of let her do a little, they probably she had some direction, but she might have just seen, how well she could do, because they did edit it, obviously. So
yeah, but the performance was amazing.
Yeah, no, it really was, and I enjoyed the checking the blade and seeing where she had hit it and things, and that was nice. That was nice. Go ahead,
No,
Roger.
sorry, Michael. No, go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
No, I'm finished now.
Before we get to Jeff, Lothcat says, I literally have fallen in love with Hu Yang. Sorry, Michael, but he beats Chopper.
Oh, I'll just kick you out.
Oh, hey, be very careful, Elizabeth. Lothcat, you can be kicked out by any of the hosts, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Even though it won't work. But
so I'll forgive them that, because David Tennant's quite charismatic, and even though I still am having trouble hearing or seeing David Tennant in Hu Yang, there are aspects of him that are coming through in the performance as we see more of him in this episode. So I'm sure many David Tennant fans from Doctor Who and his other performances are falling in love with Hu Yang.
I knew a lot of the roles, and I was looking for them, and immediately I caught David Tennant. I don't hear him, but for some reason I did recognize Hu Yang as David Tennant. I was like, oh my God, that's who David Tennant has to be. And I told you I missed Balin. Oh my goodness. I that one, I even admitted on Facebook. I had no idea that it was Ray Stevens and that he had passed away too. So this was kind of traumatic. I don't want to talk about it again, other than to remind everyone that I discovered Ray Stevens through the HBO program Rome. He was phenomenal in Rome. My significant other, Margarita, really had something for him as well. He was one of our favorite characters, Titus Pulo. He had a great role in that. But
Great
Let's see.
performance. He
Yes,
also
Loki.
had actually everybody did awesome in Rome.
Yes.
He also had a minor character in the Thor films as one of the Asgardians, and I should have recognized him with the beard from that because he was bigger. You know, he's moving on in years, and you know had a decent beard in that, so I should have recognized him right away. But I mean, it didn't click until like 45 minutes into the first episode.
Yeah. I agree and I appreciate all the sarcasm. Yes, Lothcat, don't worry, we get it, sarcasm. And I want to agree with my fellow co-hosts right now on some of the comments. I like the way it was done. The character, as espoused by David Tennant, already I enjoyed. I don't know if he's my favorite one in the series. It takes me a while to come around on that. So I think there's still a little bit more to know. But I do want to remind everyone, I asked the question in episode 2, who is that masked character? And the blogosphere has gone wild, and we get a little bit more. We'll talk about that masked character in a bit. But I want to remind everyone, I did ask the question. None of us really talked beyond it. There's a lot on there. We'll get to that in a little bit. Jeffrey. And I really just summarized the teaser. A lot happened in the teaser. So by all means, fill in what I missed and what you want to comment, please.
Well, I'll first say I'm also team Hu Yang versus Chopper. So I'm sorry, Michael. I like
That's almost a backstab, baby.
I like witty, snarky robots. So yeah, they're funny. But I think
Chopper is 2.
the blind training, with Sabine and Ahsoka was cool. I think it was kind of like a homage to Luke in New Hope. I think she said some of the same things that he had, where, oh, how am I supposed to see stuff like that? So I kind of picked up on those. And I think I can't remember ever seeing any training droids with like the 4 kind of I mean, they weren't lightsabers, but I don't know what to call them. But I think it was cool also seeing a different way that Jedi have trained, their saber skills, practicing the different forms and stuff like that. And I think, just in general, Ahsoka's patience is going to be really key to getting Sabine to really believe in herself. Because I think with Hu Yang, being, what he is, he's gonna get under her skin a lot, and so I think Ahsoka's patience, to help Sabine believe that she does possess the Force and she can focus it and become, what she could be is going to be big. So,
Jeff, I thought at first when Hu Yang was training her, he had like 4 lightsabers. I didn't realize until you saw Ren make contact, and you can see it was like a little sliver. You can see the measurement point, as our host also mentioned, the accuracy. I caught that, and I thought that was really cool. I got the equation of something like hockey. I don't know if you folks have seen it. Some of their, not necessarily all-star games, but when they compete amongst themselves, they shoot the puck into all different corners of the net. That's their skill. I instantly equated. I said, okay, yeah, duh. I could see something like that. That was a wonderful insight, and I did appreciate that. That was good stuff. So I do like the echoes as well, and I'm just acknowledging what my co-hosts have said now. There was some good stuff. I did appreciate when she put the helmet on. It wasn't the arbitrary blast shield as was on the Millennium Falcon. This was, it seemed, a true training weapon. And it kind of gave us a taste of those that fence. And maybe this could be insensitive on my part, and it's not meant to be, but I took it as almost an Asian, maybe a Pan Asian type of image.
It reminded me
Kind
of
of
a Kendo
samurai.
mask too.
Yeah, thank you. And I couldn't remember the word. So I'm not saying they're copying it, but it kind of gave the feels of. So I'm not trying to be insensitive. There's no cultural whatever. It's just, hey,
well, the
look.
swords too.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, that's right. Yes.
So
I guess there was quite a bit of it that
you can
gave
see the
that feeling.
parallels. Yeah.
and
Yes.
the counting through the form reminded me of some of working when I briefly did taekwondo.
It George Lucas, the used future and all that stuff, yes, gave us a great view. But having connections with today, subtle, makes it feel real. You know, it's something that we can say, okay, yeah, we can see something like this. It just gave it some authenticity that builds this universe even more so in a good way.
Yeah, even
And
in the early styling, Roger, a lot of there's a lot of visual reference to feudal Japan, and
yes, well, Jedi Deki, it is Japanese, so go figure. Yeah, there is quite a bit there. So when the teaser ends, it's "Let's go again," and then we get our title card. Now, for those that were watching, there was a lot of stuff going on in the blogosphere about the title card and the end credits later. We'll get to that in a bit, but I want to go back to episode 2. Who is this character, this no name, which was now named, I believe, in episode 3? So, this is the warrior that is wearing armor, dark. The voice or the sound that's coming out of him is modular. And I say him only because I don't know any better. But I don't know if you guys caught any of that. Did you guys hear who this character might be?
I wasn't 100% certain one of the other pilots was that guy. Even on
Okay.
a second watch, I wasn't 100% certain that one of the other pilots was that warrior, because they showed a couple other pilots and the masks were similar but different.
Well, do you know how he was? Because he survived. That's how I knew it was the same one.
Yeah,
He
but
definitely wasn't a red shirt, Greg.
I mean, we're hardly to that point in the story yet. But what I started thinking about was the Knights of Ren.
Who?
The Knights of Ren.
I heard that. Okay. I like that. That has something to do with the Knights of Ren. Okay, that's cool. Michael, did you read it? Did you hear anything about it over the last week?
I honestly
Or who?
did not.
And that's fine. But I did ask the question. Do you have any idea who this could be? He, there was an Inquisitor blade. I don't know why I did that gesture. I'm sorry. But I think that's how you hold the Inquisitor blade.
You pointed at
And
me.
I'm going to show off. You saw my Palpatine lightsaber last week. Can anyone identify which lightsaber this is?
That's Qui-Gon's?
Kenobi's. Or
Ooh, I like that. Michael,
I have no idea.
it's playtime. Lothcat, Elizabeth, let me know. It's a blue bladed weapon. It is well known. So I like the fact that we're not 100% certain. But my Darth Sidious blade was shown off last time. I was going to show off my Darth Vader one, but it was like the jokes. I hit the button and it sparked. So the batteries are dead. So I've got to replace the crystal, and my crystal will not be as angry. So every week I'm going to show off one of the lightsabers that we have. Not I, we, my youngest and I. So I think it's real cool. So, Michael, you really have no idea.
I have no idea.
Okay. Jeff, did you hear any of, and Jeff, I apologize. Is it Jeff or is it Jeffrey? Seriously,
No,
I'll be no serious.
Jeff's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that stuff going on the internet?
In some YouTube videos, yes,
Okay.
but it seemed like a lot of speculation.
Mhm.
I guess I haven't seen anything in the past week since 1 and 2 that would like really give me an idea of who it is. So I've seen some out there things. So.
Oh yeah, there has. Did you want to ferry a guess at this point, or no? You just want to hold off?
Nah, yeah, I'll
Okay.
play it safe.
And that's fair. And right now, and Jeff, if I'm gonna rattle a few things off, and catch me if I miss some of the ones that you may have heard. Ezra Bridger, under some sort of a spell.
Yeah.
Okay, that it could be Ezra Bridger. That it could also be Star Killer, because if you check the credits, he is doing a dish. Yeah. Oh wow! Look at that, Darth Greg. Yeah, that one took me by surprise. He is doing voice work on the series. He is in the credits, as he has done voice work in others. So, and the Knights of Ren. Uh, yes, Knights of Ren, and there might be a few others. And as Jeffrey said, there were some real fantastical ones. I'll give them credit that they went out and they came up with some creative stuff. Did you recall one or two others that I didn't mention right now? Knights of Ren, Ezra Bridger, Star Killer. Oh, the one from the most recent Star Wars game. I forget his name. Oh,
Oh,
the
Cal?
yes, the one that survives Order 66.
Hmm.
Yes.
I just call him Joker Jedi.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But yes, that's another one. Let me see. Same with me, Greg. I couldn't tell you. You might be onto something though. Okay. So, folks, that's going to be worth talking about. It is a significant character, as we saw in episode 3, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. So, the title card happens, and we start the episode. A New Republic fleet. We see quite a few ships out there in this armada, flotilla, task force, whatever.
Oh, I should have used that for the background. I love ships.
Hey, yours still looks good. Sam may pop up. You never know. You never know, indeed.
I
And
would actually love to see him play his character from the games.
where would it fit in? Jeffrey, my daughters played that game. And this is not shot against youth or anything. It's just my daughters did play that game.
Yeah.
With Star Killer. Did you play those games?
I played the first one, so
Okay.
I
It
have
was the
not played the
second one where the preview was where he was
second.
reaching out and bringing the Star Destroyer down, right?
Well, I think that may be Star Killer.
Yes, for
I don't
Star
know if
Killer.
that's Star Killer. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
didn't play the Star Killer games. I played Jedi.
Fallen Order.
Jedi Survivor. Yeah, whichever
Okay.
one had Cal in it, the first one.
Yeah.
But I'm familiar with the
I
games.
could. They were a while ago.
Yeah, they were a while
Yeah.
ago. That's
Yeah.
why I asked friendly.
They're on Steam. I don't know why I can't remember the name of them.
Yeah, Lothcat, if you can help us out with that one on Star Killer's actual name, because he is in the credits. But
Sam
I believe
Witwer.
it was the teaser for Game 2 where the Star Destroyer is coming into orbit and he actually gets a control of it and he crashes the Star Destroyer, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That was neat. Let me see. Roger's away from screen. Your Alice is, and my lightsaber is Anakin's, isn't it?
Force Unleashed. I found it.
Force Unleashed,
There you go.
which is a game that I played. I didn't play the second one. My daughter played.
It wasn't that
both of them.
great.
Yeah.
The
Nah,
first
Pro
one was
Soldier,
much
guys.
better.
It worked.
It was too short. The campaign was way too short in the second one.
Okay. All right.
But Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2 are available on Steam.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see if we get
and probably good old games and other platforms where you can find the EA. Oh, they're on EA. So EA's service as well.
Are they really on Steam? Wow, I'm surprised. I just
Yeah.
wasn't paying attention to that.
If anyone wants to play Battlefront 2, let me know. We can go into some Galactic Assault together.
Oh, I am so
Supremacy.
bored with that one.
Jeffrey, we'll have to talk about that because I think my daughter plays Battlefront. Now, Battlefront, remind me, is that the one that has the Imperial officer at the very beginning of the game? She's a female officer.
Yes.
Okay, her name is Janina Gavankar, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know the actress's
it's
name,
okay,
but I
Jeffrey.
know
I'm being a
that.
jerk. We've interviewed her in real life.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see if we can reach out to her and have her on again. She was an absolutely awesome interview.
That was a good campaign, but I'm really lousy at the team-based stuff.
Yeah, I think my daughter played that one. So
Getting
we'll
old.
talk a little
I
bit.
was a casual gamer to begin with, not a serious one. So.
Yeah, well, I should have given it away when I said, "Oh, SteamYard, they're on there," And of course, I'm playing City Skylines, so that should tell you where my skill is.
Yeah. You're a gamer, dude. Don't try to
Uh,
hide it. Come out of the closet. It's no big deal to be over 50 and play video games.
oh, dude, I do GTA 5. When I used to get home from work, remember I used to tell everyone when I was frustrated. I think this used to scare Senator Michael. See, yeah, when I was frustrated, I would always go to the Palito Freeway where the subway hole is, and I would just blow up something on the freeway and have the cops come in and just ping, 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 just stay there for 20, 30 minutes, just taking out the whole San Angeles police.
Yeah, now
There it is. Thank
you-
you, Sam Whitwer, right? It's not
Oh, that's
Sam
who. I
Whitmer.
know him. Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Battlestar
Whitmer, right?
Galactica.
No, I met him. So I
As a matter of fact, he was had a significant role in season 2 on Battlestar Galactica. Yeah,
he
he was
did.
really good too. Yeah, yeah, he is so much more than Star Wars. There's no doubt about that. It's actually in quite a bit of other stuff. But thank
He
you,
is,
Little
he
Cat.
is.
I appreciate the help on that. So we get right into it. The New Republic fleet, and we see who the new Chancellor is. Wow, what a pleasant surprise! I did not know that. I had not in the extended universe. I should have maybe, but it was an absolute thrill to see this gallant character. I was lucky. I grew up with all of them, and I'm not throwing shade at anyone or anything. It's just I've been there, seen Mon Mothma as a rebel, seen her as a senator, seen her as the creator of having a hand in what we see move forward, and then maybe even seen a little bit of going from the salad days to the 7-course meal days. If there is anyone that fits, it would be her, and it's really cool. I like that. Oh, all right. This is absolutely awesome, folks. There's a wonderful conversation going on off screen on this film. This is
Um,
really cool. This is neat. Once again, it's a blue lightsaber blade, and if you want to see it, it is a
yeah, I'm
famous
sticking with
blade.
Kenobi.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Um,
This is cool.
so yeah, Chancellor Mothma, Mon Mothma. One of the things that's been really a delight in this is Genevieve O'Reilly continuing to reprise this role.
Yeah.
She so much has the bearing of the original actress from The Return of the Jedi. She's voiced the role many times. She's appeared as Mon Mothma many times prior to this. Heavily featured in Andor.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
So that she's sticking Kenobi too, I think. That she's sticking with it is just great.
Yeah. I do want to add that we see well, as I was alluding to earlier, a gallant, strong character. Folks, in Andor, we see the truest, I know that might not be grammatically correct, the truest, the realest, the genuine one. She has a lot on the line. And even though we know how it ends, I still fear for her. I am worried of this character because it is so well written and what she delivers. It is so sad the price that this woman is going to pay. In The Lord of the Rings, we know that Frodo pays one of the ultimate price. He fights for that which he loves, but the price is basically his life. And in Andor, another gentleman, I forget his name right now, but the one who's leading this faction, he's given his life. Genevieve O'Reilly through Mon Mothma is not only giving up her fortune, she may be even giving up her daughter. That is frightening. And it is well done. That's how much these people are committed. That's how much they're willing to pay. And maybe I shouldn't say that all that loss equates to chancellorship. Please don't take that. It's just we've seen this character almost every spectrum now, which is really cool. So She's paid a price and has, I don't want to say is rewarded, but if anyone's earned Chancellor, I think it would be her, as well as everyone that was involved in Rogue One. But that's neither here nor there. So Hera's got to give a report, and we see in the report Hera has baggage, and they point it out to her, and it's some real cheap shot baggage too. This is a hero of the rebellion, and yet these senators don't believe this hero, or believe her but say, you know what, we think there's some ulterior motives. I don't know what you gentlemen thought about that, and I'm not going to go in order. If anyone wants to jump in right away, please. But there's a word for this. That's sucky treatment, what Hera received. It wasn't at the hands of Mon Mothma. No, not even close. But Lothcat says, I do not trust this council at all. Yeah, okay.
I agree with Lothcat too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like taking cheap shots. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, now I did see some people talking about that council scene online. I did get some things in my feed about that, and a lot of people were just going. They basically said, "Don't trust anybody. What's their agenda?" Some of the characters seemed like they had baggage. Some of them were in the Empire, and yeah, it's going to be. I think if they take this the way I think they are, it's going to get very complicated.
Yeah, they're definitely playing politics here, and I'm having a hard time with the pronunciation, but Senator Shiono is. I'm strongly suspecting he's sympathetic to the Empire. Very dismissive of any threat from Thrawn. Very quick to criticize Hera for chasing down a personal agenda rather than defending against the return of Thrawn. So I suspect by the time this series is over, the seeds for the First Order are going to be firmly planted, more so than they've done in the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
Let me add a little bit more. Hera's report, she says they were attacked by Imperial loyalists in Corellia, and this speaks to a larger operation. And then they get a little snappy with her, says, well, always does. And they're talking about choices. And in my notes, I wrote always does. And Elizabeth, sorry to disappoint you, Elizabeth. There were only 3 pages of notes this time, okay? So I don't know how many pages you took down, Elizabeth, but there's a little bit of competition as to who's always bigger. And speaking of Shiono, I didn't have his name at first until I saw the credits. I called him Senator. Well,
Cranky Pants.
I'll leave the. Okay.
That's a good one.
That actually is. There was a actually that was very funny, Greg. That was darn funny. I'm an old guy, so I had a pejorative in there. It was Senator something list and Sideline. I called him Senator Sideline because Hera was attacked, but she also gave back, and that was nice.
Did.
That was cool. So, she was like, because they said, "Are you looking for Thrawn or looking for Ezra?" And I didn't like that. Michael, do you understand?
I felt it was like. I almost felt like he knew something and he was trying to divert attention. That's the way I felt. I don't know how Jeffrey felt, but
I didn't think about that. Yeah, Jeffrey.
I felt he was trying to divert attention.
I saw in one of the videos I saw on YouTube where that specific senator in the Resistance show, his son wants to join the Resistance, and he has a lot of pushback against that. So I think I don't know if that's ever going to be linked, but later in the timeline, he's openly against the resistance because he thinks they're a bunch of radicals or extremists. And so I definitely agree with some ulterior motives. I think it's strange that somebody with the history, in the rebellion, that you promoted to general, you would be casting all these doubts on what her motives are, and also, because she fought Thrawn, she would know better than anybody, as far as what might be happening in the background. She knows the kind of strategist that Thrawn is, and so if she's getting a whiff of it, I would trust her, and so I would feel like some of the senators might not want her to dig a little deeper. So.
Jeffrey, I appreciate that comment because of all the series, I missed out on Resistance, and I'm gonna have to watch it now. Thank you, but I mean that in a good way. All kidding aside, I did not give that some thought. Folks, looking at real world parallels, this did surprise me, and I talked about this earlier about Mon Mothma being at every part of this rebel story. In 2011, when the Arab Spring was going on, what happened in Egypt, there were many people that were involved, all sorts of the spectrum, and they interviewed. This may sound as ageist, but they interviewed some of the kids, and they asked them, "Will you be seeking a position?" They said, "No, we were involved. We will always be colored. It is for someone else to do that which we cannot do." I always kept that. And it has not clouded, by no means. It has always colored my thinking when I think of insurrections, rebellions, stuff like that, that I could see these senators as maybe not all of them as being involved. Mon Mothma being the chancellor, duh. She's a hero of the universe. But I can see why maybe these other people didn't have combat experience per se, maybe. But General Syndulla, of what I know, she's a decorated war hero. I wouldn't question her. I know they're tight with Ezra, but then Ezra did a good thing, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to shut up because the local dogs don't like.
Yeah, local dogs like to get you when you have a good conversation going.
And I'm surprised that, I would imagine to a certain extent they would know who Ezra is and why they would be giving so much pushback as far as any kind of mission that could lead to his recovery, finding out that he is alive and bringing him back. I mean, he would be an incredible ally. They talk about it being this, new republic, and they need the resources elsewhere, to build it up. And I think saving somebody like Ezra would be really important for that security and safety of whatever republic they're trying to build. So I think it's weird that they use finding Ezra as one of the reasons why they don't want them to pursue it, because they think it's a waste of resources. So I think it's a little odd.
Yeah, and I also wondered, I didn't notice the mentioning Ahsoka or Fulcrum. So I'm almost wondering if they're also keeping like that, like Hera is keeping that association under wraps. Like she didn't mention that, Ahsoka's already on her way there, that I heard.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they did mention that at all, Greg.
Yeah, they made it seem when she called into them on the ship, she kind of made it seem like they were kind of keeping it hush. Ahsoka and Sabine being on that mission, because obviously, she didn't disclose to the council that they were already heading out there. So
no, not at all. So
I think it's interesting because I think on both sides there's a lot of different. Everybody kind of has their own motive. Like everybody's playing their own hand, even if there may be some slight alliances, even between the two not Jedi and or slash not Sith, and then what's her face, Morgan, the Night Sister. Like, yeah, they're kind of cooperating, but it doesn't really seem like they like each other. I know
Common
I'm skipping.
agenda.
Yeah, but I think it'll be interesting to see at the end of the show if there are any changed alliances. But
Jeffrey, they are alliances. I think Balin and Shin are assisting because they know there's something greater out there.
yeah,
They're not necessarily friends. They might be partners, but there's a senior. That's Morgan, right?
mhm.
She is a senior partner, but they're working together for a goal. And these two, as I call them, Sith Jedi. But and oh, did you catch that they were orange blades, by the way, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
You did. We did not. Yeah, we clearly did
Young
not.
eyes.
Yeah.
Young
Or,
They're
eyes.
they're in the
or Greg,
between.
did you catch they were orange?
Me? No,
Oh,
not
okay, yeah.
until
No, I
towards
didn't
the end
either.
of Brit,
Yeah.
that last week's thing, and you know, of course, you could probably tell I was like had it up on the side over here, and so, but you know, I'll credit you know that Jeff's eyes are 30 years into the mind for that one.
Yeah, I flat out missed that one, and that was really good catch. So I appreciate Jeffrey. You added some insight, and there's stuff that I caught on the side that I understand a little bit more. Balin's comment in episode 2, where he ends it by when Shin asks him, what are we going to get out of this? And he says, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." Okay, that's episode 1, episode 2. He says something to the effect, "Oh, for us, power such as you've never dreamed." Okay, I misunderstood that. There's some great commentary out there. There is more to this, and I don't know. We didn't spend a lot of time on this, gentlemen, but I've got some ideas, and I'm going to put a pin in this as we move forward, as they move forward. Uh, they there's something else that they're looking for, and they kind of alluded to it when they said the Jedi younglings, fairy tales, and stories, and it
This
comes into play.
series is, you know, it's expanded universe in itself, but this
Yeah,
series is expanding the universe. You know, it's making it possible for, you know, a story to move to this other galaxy. You know, and you know, one of the things Star Trek Discovery had to do is they had to move to far future to get out of all the
Baggage.
canonistas, you know, stomping all over everything they were trying to do. And this is going to give Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy and Favreau the opportunity to redefine Star Wars, should they choose to. You know, a new galaxy with new possibilities, as long as it's not here and now. I mean, 2023 Terra.
Yeah.
It could be amazing.
wow. I guess I'm responding to all of you because this one video made so much sense to me. And this is the first time I'm genuinely cheating by spending a lot of time watching these videos. I'm going to have to send this to you, gentlemen. I hope it's not a spoiler. It is someone's guessing big time, but they are talking about Filoni Universal Lore. I know that's almost criminal, right? Actually, that worked out pretty well. What they're talking about, this cross point or this jump point, it's been implied before.
Yeah, it has.
No, okay, not
They-
just as the the blurb in episode 2, the fairy tale line.
No, well, they talked about the whales in
Okay, yes.
Rebels.
Rebels.
And
Yes.
I think they showed up in Clone Wars once too.
Yeah, someone
There-
that's
Go ahead.
There was
go
a
ahead, Jeff.
reference. I was just gonna say, there was a reference about the stories of these. Is it? It wouldn't be intergalactic. Would it be transgalactic? I don't know. These pathways that the whales
Yeah,
Yeah.
take. It was in the Jedi archive, so obviously they've known that there are other galaxies and that there are ways to get to them. And so, I mean, what is in these galaxies, I don't know. I don't know precisely in the Clone Wars. I don't remember the names, but those like the gods, like the light side god, the dark side god.
oh,
I
I
don't know
love
if they're
that
in another.
episode.
Yeah, I don't know if they're in another galaxy
is that the one that was kind of
or.
like neutral that said I am neither Sith nor
Yeah, that's one of
Jedi?
my favorite
where
Clone
was
Wars
that?
episodes.
Oh my goodness.
So
Way to go, Jeffrey. I saw
It
that
was
in a
like a
video
giant
yesterday.
holocron
yeah,
in space. It was like
so
really
I don't know
cool.
if that could be the power that Skull is referring to. If there's going to
Ooh,
be any
okay.
way
All right.
to.
Ooh.
All right, then I'm actually going to cross over on this one. No pun intended. I want to add to what Jeffrey is saying, that this person is believing that in episode 2, Bayan is referring to where in this, more than likely in this galaxy, where they find, I think it's called Peradia, which is in history of like heaven or creation or where it all began. So I believe, like that guy who did the video, I'm going to have to find it. It's in my history that.
The Romulans called it Vortivore.
Oh yes, and oh, very good. Oh, you got me, buddy. Master, what happens when we find Thrawn? He said, war. For others, a new beginning. For us, power, such as you've never dreamed. And it alludes to a force that none of us ever seen, like the purest force there is, like in heaven, for lack of a better word. And I'm doing it a disservice because it was phenomenally done in about 8 minutes. It was a great video. I'm going to see if I can find the reference. I'm going to invite everyone to take a look at it. And
Also credit
this
the person
adds.
that put it together too.
Okay,
because,
yes,
yeah.
but I don't think Jeffrey saw this one. That's why I said, okay, dude, I've got to say, yes, this is in line with what Jeffrey was implying right now. Lothcat says they ride on those streams, so it'll definitely be possible to go to a different galaxy. Yeah, and they're called star whales.
Yeah.
I
Whales.
found that out.
Star Wars, yeah, that's it.
So yes,
Whales
Purgle.
is easier for me to remember. I'm old.
Yeah,
what was
I
that?
believe the species name is called Purgle.
Purgle, yeah.
I wonder if that was close to the name of that planet or that place. But I missed it, and Lothcat, I think none of us caught that. He was talking about something greater, than even bigger than that. We were like, okay, well, what's he talking about? You know, the Sith, the dark side, whatever. A little bit more than that.
Well,
So
don't forget, Lucas's original script was like a Grail quest.
actually, yes,
And
yeah.
I think another, because it's always been so light and dark, obviously Palpatine was an incredibly powerful Force user, but he was pursuing the power of the dark side, and you've had masters of the light side like Yoda, but Skull and his apprentice, they're not Jedi or Sith. So I feel like because of that, they're not really looking specifically at either side of the Force now for power. They're trying to look at these more like mystical, even compared to the Force, otherworldly powers that they could attain to, do whatever they want with them. But I don't think it's, your typical chasing dark Sith artifacts anymore. I think it's looking
I am
The next step
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Bad Roger. Or bad Palpatine.
I'll explain to all of you why I've been known as Palpatine for like the last 20, 30 years. It's a bit of a joke and it's stuck and I love it. I think I told everyone, right, that when I had my Sprint phone, you could program the phone to, instead of your name, you could have it say whatever. Well, if you don't have me in your phone, I call you for the first time, it actually does say Palpatine on it. It's really cool. Anyway, sorry. Wow. Everyone's like, okay, Raj, call. The number's on the internet, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, all kidding
They
aside.
don't find it, do they?
I'm sorry?
You don't find it, do they?
Isn't it funny? But now
It
they're
is
going
a
to start looking.
scare. Now they're going to start looking.
Yeah. So
I
anyway.
can tell you where it is for a price.
Shut up, Michael. Anyway, all kidding aside. Folks, this is actually a really fun conversation. I'm going to ask, I'm going to turn it over to Greg for just a moment. I apologize. My alarm went off. The American pharmaceutical industry has contacted me. So I know I butchered it. I have to take my prescribed stuff. I'll be back in about 2-3 minutes, folks. So I ask you to bear with me. Look, just very quickly, Jason is introduced. Now, Jason introduced in live action. He was already introduced before. And I do want to take a cheap shot at some people that are talking about seeing Jason. And there was something else that was mentioned a little while ago, that these episodes are being done as if to satisfy fan service. And there was another video where this guy was ripping episodes 1, 2, and 3 by saying, what, just because you're listening to the audience out here, and it's like you're putting in these scenes to satisfy us. Allow me to say one thing, moron. This stuff was written a year ago. How can they be satisfying fandom when fandom didn't even know what was going on? So there's a lot of hurt, ignorant people out there, which I don't have time for. And I don't understand how this could be answering fandom when fandom wasn't even asking that question. But that's okay. That's just me. I have things to do.
So we talked a little bit about this last week. I mean, the Easter eggs and fan service from Filoni and Favreau is at such a different level than what JJ did with Star Trek. I mean, this is, it's subtle. We know Hera has a son. Why shouldn't we see him? What I think was clever, and this goes back to when they created the character in the New Jedi Order books. Jason was Jason Solo, who would later become Darth Caedus or Caedus, depending on which way you pronounce it, the Latin word Caedus. So we know that Hera and Kanan Jarrus had a son. It makes perfect sense that Jason would be with her.
Yeah, and the other, I was going to mention something. Now Roger's gone, I can mention it. Not his phone number. Sorry, Elizabeth. But they're bringing in, when we were talking about, going to a new galaxy, Filoni and all of his staff, let's call it that, are bringing in a lot of elements of Star Wars. They're bringing in some game stuff. They're bringing in animation stuff. They're bringing in novel stuff. They're bringing in characters from everywhere and putting them all here as we were talking, maybe a stepping stone to go to a new galaxy, and to have all new stories. I mean, who knows? Yeah. It's very possible. Oh, now I can't talk about Roger. He's back. Oh boy.
The other supposition is that Roger's just out, hitting the crack pipe, not really taking anything he should. No.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get rid of Greg now.
I'm teasing. The other supposition was that I was having, as we're talking about this other universe in the bridge, is about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. The intent was that they were the Star Wars universe, books, comics, games, was going to focus on the past, with more of a tie-in with the massive multiplayer online game, the Old Republic, and maybe even go further back. The very beginning of this series, they mention not just a bridge through space, but space and time.
Yeah.
So I would love if not just a whole new universe, but a whole new reimagining of the origin of all of this, and the Wills and the Jedi and the Sith, and and just because if you think about it, if you can travel faster than light, you can end up where you were previously in space. So maybe that bridge isn't to a different galaxy, but the same galaxy in the distant past.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's deep. That is. I definitely don't have an answer for that. And I like that. I'm going to give that some thought. Huh. That's good
But then
stuff.
again, they don't have me writing these things, so
Well,
Shame on them.
yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, wow, Greg, that's some deep thought right there, and I appreciate that.
Deep thoughts with Greg.
Yes. Are we gonna have a special thing on that? Just deep thoughts with Greg.
You ever
Okay.
see that thing about the hole in Russia, where it's like this really deep thing that they drilled? They're trying to drill to see how far they can drill down.
You mean that they drilled and stopped already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty deep thought, huh?
Yes. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Well, please do not bore us to death on that deep borehole. But whatever. Okay. See, and Jeffrey's like, these guys really think they're funny, don't they? Like, yeah, more. You're not catching us at our best. No doubt about that. But yeah, we do think we're funny, but that's okay.
This is what you have
Well,
to look forward to in 30 years, Jeffrey.
his
Bad
mind
jo-
is, dude,
bad
I've
joke.
got
Hey.
6 more episodes. What do you mean 30 years?
Soon you too will embrace the dad joke.
Yeah, I'll have glasses next episode, and then 2 episodes from now I'll have gray hair. So
There you
I'll
go.
catch up with you guys quickly. Don't worry.
My whole neck
No,
is white
you
now.
don't want to catch up. That's funny though. That's good. All right, nice locks there, young man. Though.
Thanks.
Not that I'm unhappy about such things.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hey, at
Thanks
least they
the ball
still all
cap.
have some sort of color. Hey, look, there's another universe. I told you I cross all universes. Come on, you can see that. And no, I'm not gonna drop the shirt, but there it is. Look, there's another universe. And then of course I had the Rogue One right there. I was gonna wear my Last Jedi T-shirt right now, but then no, I thought it would be insulting. And then if I would have worn my Han shot first, Greg would have said, "Have you watched it yet?" So
Yeah, he would have.
I wasn't prepared to wear that one because I did wear it like for 3 weeks in a row. And Greg asked, "Have you washed that shirt yet, dude?" And I didn't have an answer for you too, dude. That's what I thought made funny. But I'm sorry, folks. We are all over the place.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I'm not wearing my Imperial Fleet shirt again today, because it's in the hamper.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That would never stop me, but that's okay. Also, I may have answered your question, Greg. But all kidding aside, we do get a little bit of future proofing, maybe, and following through and some of the thoughts that we thought about when Jason, Jacen, is introduced. And he says, I want to be a Jedi. And she says, yeah, I know you do. So it's interesting. Are we going to have Jason also going through it in the same way that Sabine is? Are they going to bring the Jedi back? Where's Luke involved in this? So this is interesting. Does Luke know about Thrawn? There's some interesting stuff there. I
Mhm.
would think Luke would need to know about Thrawn.
Well,
So
also, is this contemporary with Mandalorian? A little bit before Mandalorian?
well,
Eh,
You could go ahead, Jeffrey. Yeah, I think you have the answer that I was going to say.
Well, I think it's after.
Because remember,
Correct.
second season Mandalorian, Ahsoka is in the series, and she captures what's her face?
Morgan.
Morgan. Thank you.
Yeah. So she captures, and that's where in the first episode they
Okay.
are breaking her out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
so this
remember
is
that.
in line. I think they're like maybe weeks, months, whatever. I think the timelines are consistent. The
Okay, so
stories are
this
going to
is like
overlap.
Mandalorian season 4, like Boba Fett was Mandalorian season 3 or
Oh,
something.
I don't know. You know, that's interesting. I heard about that. I think they're just running concurrently.
Okay.
Yeah, but where
So
they play, I don't know. I'd have to do some math, but I'm not into the star logs and calendars and all that stuff. I'll have to catch up. I've lost the galactic time right now due to COVID, so I apologize. Did you guys have some other thoughts about that? About okay,
I have one great
go.
one that I want to save for after the next scene.
All right, because in the next scene, Ahsoka is talking about the additional training. You did well today. So did I jump ahead, or do you want to go in now, Greg?
No, no.
Because this is the training. And then Sabrine says, yes, weapons I can handle. Ahsoka says it takes time. And Sabine says, I was hoping the urgency would expedite my training a bit. And then Ahsoka says, I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. Start small. And I believe it's at that moment where she pushes the cup across and says, go ahead, try. And poor Sabine cannot. So that was it was kind of messed up. But start small. It's gonna take her a while. But Ahsoka gave up on her, and now she's coming back. So this is good. This is good for both of them. We talked about over in episode 1 and 2. There's still baggage. Not all things have been resolved, but they're doing this for the better. Those two. Is Ahsoka looking for Ezra? We know Sabine will in a heartbeat. Is Ahsoka? I'm putting that out to you guys.
I hadn't thought about it, Jeff.
I hadn't either.
And it's not a right or wrong. I'm just throwing this question out there.
Huh.
Oh.
She never mentions him that I have heard.
Okay.
Could I?
I mean, it's a scene.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Could I be brought up to speed really quick? I was typing something.
No, I know, and we did get this. Yes, so we are on your time, Jeffrey, and I do apologize for that. But yes,
Oh,
we're
that's right.
on
You were
your
time boxed.
Yeah. So
Do you want to share any final thoughts before?
actually, get your comment in that you wanted right now, and then we'll follow up with Greg's about any other comment. Yes.
Well, no, I wanted the conversation you guys were having. I just wanted to be added to it because
Yes.
I didn't catch the last part.
We were talking about did Ahsoka
Is she looking for Ezra?
Is she looking for Ezra?
Because Ren is. She has not given up on him.
I would think so. I mean, I think another force sensitive user, somebody who's been trained as much as Ezra, and obviously his connection that he has to the Purgle would also be a powerful tool. So yeah, I can't imagine that she wouldn't want to find him. I don't know if it's her driving motive. I mean, because I think if they find Ezra, they find Thrawn. If they find Thrawn, they find Ezra. So it's just find either one of them, and they're going to be led to the other. So that's kind of my sense on Ahsoka's mission. But
okay, let's go ahead and go over some of the important parts, Jeffrey, that you thought of this episode. In other words, what you want to share. Get that out right now, if you would, please.
Well, I think Cetos, I think that's the name of the planet with the red trees. So I think, like I said earlier, I think this was a big, I don't know if anything necessarily in the episode, like I don't think there was something that happened that stood out, but I just see a lot of pieces beginning to move that will make episode 4 really interesting. Just because Skull, sends out those troops to go find them. In some of the trailers we got, we saw uh, the 2 respective lightsaber duels
Mm-hmm.
with Sabine versus Haiti. Is that how you say uh, her last name?
Maybe.
Shin Haiti. And then Ahsoka and Skull. And both of those take place on the planet. And so I think obviously that means that, Ahsoka and Sabine's paths may split up pretty soon. They might get separated somehow. But like I said, I think it's just a lot of cool, exciting things are gonna happen in the episode, and I'm really curious to see what kind of role the Purgles or the Purgle play. Just because this is the first time that we're seeing them. I mean, we saw them briefly in Rebels, but this is the first time we're seeing them again. And obviously, anywhere they show up, I mean, that's uh, directly in line with this, time and space travel that everybody's talking about. So it's just, I think it's like just a huge set piece that is getting moved.
Jumping a bit ahead, there was a battle when they ambushed them. When they went over to the planet, they were ready to go. Their combat air patrol was on station and engaged them and caught them off guard. And they wounded both Sabine and Ahsoka, or their ship. They wounded it, big time. What did you think of Ahsoka? Was it a desperation move? Did she know that they were going to aim at her instead? What were your thoughts, gentlemen? But Jeffrey, please.
I thought it very much reminded me of uh, Leia flying through space as far as just how fantastical it was. I was just paying attention to, like, she's standing on a starship jumping through air somehow, even though there's no air in space. Yeah, like it was cool. I think sure she was. She obviously Sabine knows more about maybe this tech stuff. Because she was she in the Empire? She worked on weapons or something, right? So I think Ahsoka just figured, well, I have to do something, and I think them seeing her out in space, yeah, probably got them distracted. Obviously, her cutting a ship in two midair in space is really cool as well. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on that.
All right. Appreciate that. Right before, it was really dramatic how Hu Yang is trying to get. This is cool. They're holding target while they're trying to get a full sensor scan, which was really cool. And I appreciate the way he says, just a little closer. A little closer. That reminded me of The Empire Strikes Back, Millennium Falcon. We're gonna get closer. Closer! They're all telling off. That I got that. It was a nice tangential homage. Okay, that's all. They weren't making fun of it. It was just it rhymes, and it was good. I did appreciate that, and the battle was good. And I did appreciate the sarcasm when Hu Yang returned and said, "Yes, oh, because they said, what happened to us? Oh, well, we were in a battle, got damaged, we come back.
Died a couple times almost. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, then he says, yes, standard SOP. I thought that was funny. That was good. So the droid has sarcasm. You caught that, huh, Jeffrey? I appreciated that.
Yeah, that's why I like him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there is more to this. He might be my favorite character, but I'm going to
yeah,
hold
they,
on.
they do it over and over again in Star Wars, but it's always so charming. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
absolutely loved L3 in the Solo movie.
Oh,
And
right.
I
Yes.
am enjoying Yang but I don't know if I like him better than Chopper. But I do like him a lot.
This was a shorter episode. Obviously, it only ran 37 minutes. There was a significant part of the battle that we're kind of really just going over right now. But at the very end, as Jeffrey alluded to, one of the last orders are after this comedic exchange, where they went dark, they land, we see the star whales and the hyperspace lanes between the galaxies, and then Balin. And do you guys notice that I refer to him as Balin and Shin, and Jeffrey refers to them by their last name? I wonder if that's an age thing. Did you guys catch that? From the very beginning, he's always referred to them by their last name, and I refer to them by their first name. I just thought that was cool. Balin, of course, says, "A Jedi are in the forest. Hunt them down." And I don't know if you guys saw it. It was a bit subtle. The droid's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
They didn't like an immediate yes, sir, or whatever. They're just like, yeah, all right, whatever.
We're good.
I wouldn't want to hunt Ahsoka in some dark forest on a strange planet. It doesn't sound like it's going to end well for me. So
Yeah, considering every time Ahsoka runs into a droid, they don't come back.
yeah, she has a good track record of destroying droids.
yeah, she does. You're funny, Lothcat. Well, okay, fair enough. I've already taken more of your time. I want to get maybe your last thoughts on the episode. Generally, like, good episode, bad episode. If you want to grade it, I know I'm moving real fast on that. You can hold off to next week if you like, but your thoughts on the episode.
I enjoyed it. I think it was, even though it was short, I think enough important thing. I think it was an important episode. And it still had, I liked some of the callbacks to, past things we've seen in Star Wars. I like, kind of, introduction of the characters like we were talking about earlier. Marok, is that the Inquisitor's name?
Yeah, that's a character.
So like him being named, hearing him speak, so even though it wasn't super long, like 1 and 2, I still think a lot happened. I think enough happened for it to be a good episode. I don't know what I would like grade it per se, but
okay.
Overall I enjoyed it. Maybe like a B or a C.
Okay. Well, very good. So then maybe I'll ask next week. Hopefully we didn't put you really through it on this one. That we will have you back next week. And I'm not going to put you up to it right now. I'm not going to commitment. We know you have to run, and I thank you for staying even those extra minutes after you notified us. So Jeffrey, I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is all kidding aside. This is Jeffrey's first. This is his introduction to the worldwide internet, and I have to tell you, young man, okay, I didn't mean to say that. Dude, you know your stuff. And you bring yet another flavor to this program that is really exciting. And I don't know if you got out of it what I've always stated, that these 4 different viewpoints, it's cool when you put them together and you hash things out. That's the exciting part.
Well, I had an amazing time. So thank you for your inviting me and your patience, as I get the ropes. But I would definitely love to return, because I think, like I said, I think that's the main point I've been trying to drive, is that I think the episode 4, probably 5 are going to be really, really big ones. So I definitely would want to return and talk about them.
I look forward to that. And that also teaches us to get quickly into reviewing the entire episode. That is all me. Greg already gave up. He already said, Raj, can't we do this in an hour? I'm like, well, of course we can. Yeah.
Well, I apologize. I certainly don't want you guys to have to finish or feel rushed or anything.
No. I just said that right now. You have your commitment,
You'll
young man.
learn.
Thank you.
we can go on forever. And then if we get
And we do.
if we get great comments that cause us to even have more discussion. What was last week, Michael? 2 hours.
2 hours 45 minutes. About.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to frighten you, Jeffrey, but we one time.
But they were 2 long episodes, though. They were long
Yes.
episodes.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember that we spent 22 minutes on 2 phrases in one scene because there was so much into it. Yes. So there it is. There's your first one, Jeffrey. There it is. From
Thank you,
Lothcat
Lothcat.
of all people. Yes. That is cool. All right. Again, young man, I thank you. And I look
Thank you,
forward to
guys.
hearing your commentary. It's really good stuff. And
Awesome.
if the strike is settled, we might have even 2 other people joining us.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cool.
God. That'll be
Yeah.
hardcore Star Wars fans as well. So,
Yeah.
Jeffrey, what do you think the rest of us need to see to be prepared as well? What do you think?
I would I would look for, because I need to do this as well, but I was alluding to that resistance piece
Oh yeah.
with the senator. So I think we should all watch a recap or 2 of what happens in there, because it might help us better understand some of the characters. So
Yeah, you're right. I never would have
I
thought
would
that.
say that's the big one. I don't know if we'll learn anything super crazy that will come back and be like, oh, but it is definitely maybe more forgotten piece compared to some of these big ones that we reference, like Rebels and stuff like that. So just to have it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's the
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber. So, Jeffrey, if you have any collectibles, anything, even drawings, pictures, anything, bring it over. We like to do show and tell as well. It's kind of cool.
I have a giant Anduril sword. So I have a
You
replica.
have one as well?
We'd
Yeah.
love to see that next week, Jeffrey.
Yes,
All right.
mine is packed, but if you're going to bring that one, hey, I'll have mine as well. So that's
All
cool.
right.
Then you
Ladies
can
and gentlemen,
duke it out.
Jeffrey, no, we will not duke it out. We're on the same side here. Okay. So if we're going to call you by anyone or anything, let us know. But you already know we all have we change our names.
We do.
So all Kenny said, oh, I have a visitor, one of my cats. I have a Loth cat. I think you can hear it. So I'm going to have to attend to her real quick. Jeffrey, thank you. You're a good
Thank
man, and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks, Michael.
Jeffrey.
Thanks, Greg.
See
Nice
you this
meeting you.
weekend.
All right. See ya.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the worldwide premiere of Jeffrey. Wow, that's terribly exciting. I do have a visitor, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to have to give it just a little bit of food right now. So I apologize. Greg, once again, or Michael, go ahead and continue. We were going to... actually, we did quite a bit, so we can just
We
cover
flew
what we
through like
missed.
the second half of the episode.
Yeah, so I mean, we could cut it off pretty soon, unless
Well,
there's major stuff
I'm
we
sure
can
there's stuff that we missed that we would have gone over.
Mhm.
I actually did fly through the episode fast. Why are you embarrassed, woman? Because I have a Loth cat? Is that why? Why are you embarrassed? You already wrote that. It is
Where's
there
your portal?
forever, Loth cat. Yes, my lord. All I got to say is, at least you have your priorities straight, Elizabeth.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm. That was exactly how it was meant too, Greg. I've got to attend, folks. The cat, all kidding aside, her name is Husker. Husker because it was a boy. Because my daughter said it was a boy, and
Oh,
then
that's right.
Oh, you remember that story? Thank you. Yes, so it has remained Husker, and it is so cool.
When it was a kitten, they thought it was a boy, and
Yeah,
the
Mike
vet
used to take him out.
later said, "Oh no."
And our cats were named Apollo, and we had another one that was another Battlestar Galactica one, which I thought was kind of cool. So I said, "Wow, little boy, Husker."
That's
So
awesome.
turns out to be a female. She is still Husker. I'll be right back, but I will mute myself.
Okay.
Now we talk about Roger again, since he's
Oh, now he's off feeding his cat.
yeah.
I
So anything else that stood out to you at the end,
earlier
Greg?
comment that was sounded funny. Yeah, so I mean, backing up, I mean, we had some really cool stuff here. I was trying to remember if we'd ever seen Jedi outside in space before, and I thought Plo Koon did it once in Clone Wars. But to see the way they did it this time was very cool. And also, it was interesting that Morgan Elspeth was, in a control room on the ring ship. So I remember last week we were speculating that the ring was something that maybe another ship would dock into. So is the ship a ring, or is it like a Stargate?
Like
Or
yeah. I'm not
yeah,
sure because they did say there were engines on it.
there
So
were, and it's not done yet.
no, and it's not finished. So
Yeah. So I mean, they knew Ahsoka was coming at the end of episode 2, so it made sense, that I had her name written down right in front of me here. I know I don't see it. That the female non-Jedi Sith person was, waiting for her. You know, we knew that, of course, if there were any ships surviving, that she would be one of them. And they started with 6, got down to 2 at the end.
mhm.
So that was really cool. I did enjoy the Huyang scanning and all the. If we could just get a little closer, please. And
Well,
it's like that was funny.
and and the other thing you were saying about we were a couple things. We were talking about the size of the ring and if the ship was supposed to go in. Remember back in was it episode 2 when they shut down the yards? They were building a huge ship that was not a Republic ship. That was
Yeah.
a special whoever it was. It was like, how did they say? Well, oh, here comes the cat. But they were doing it for a special client, and I'm thinking that's probably the kind of ship that they were building to go through that ring.
Yeah.
And hook onto the ring, and so.
Oh yes, so ship and gate.
Yes.
Or is it going to be the ship going into the gate, attaching, and
I'm thinking attaching because they were talking about the engines how many engines and how much power that brings in.
Yeah.
Plus, it is visibly
versus a Stargate.
Yeah.
A Stargate. So
it is visibly reminiscent of the jump rings that the Jedi fighters use,
especially in the third movie, because if you remember the second movie, they all had like 2 engines, for lack of a better word, on the sides, and in the third movie, I think Obi-Wan uses a jump ring that had 3 engines on each side. So I don't know what that means in the universe other than it looking cool to a younger audience. To the physics and science majors.
yeah,
once you get into the hyperspace lane, doesn't matter how
but it may take a lot to get into certain ones, maybe.
Wow.
Well, and then you have redundancy. I mean, if one fails.
Yeah, so who knows?
Right there, when you said redundancy, I love the line in what is it? The submarine movie, Hackman and what's his face? Where he keeps repeating, he says, "Yes, I know all about redundancy." You said that right now. Sorry, Gene Hackman in the 1995 submarine movie. Oh my goodness,
I'm drawing a blank on it too.
It was aboard the Bama. The
Alabama.
Yeah,
we have a copy of it at the house.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was just all over. The cat was doing just fine. Oh, Loth Cat. Yes, I do as well. Thank you. Yep. I used to irritate the Nimmers because I would loudly call out for them using that 5-letter word. When it was feeding time, I would do that.
Bad. As I said,
I don't understand why my neighbors were annoyed. That's what they were, or are. Anyway, but thank you, Loth Cat. I'm glad you're not jealous. There was a lot to like in this episode. It did seem a bit short, but in the shortness, oh my god, here we go. Sister Pauline Therese, she's rolling. I know, she's rolling in her grave. I'm sorry, but she was a little
She
beach
might be
ball.
behind you now.
Nah, she's in a good place. You caught me halfway. I was like, she's in a good place, but I actually did stop mid sentence. Um, this episode did move fast. There wasn't a lot of lost time. There's a reason for what everything is done, and I think Jeffrey did comment about that. I don't know if he actually said it, but he was referring to this episode as a bridge episode
Yes,
or
he did at the
transitional,
beginning. Yeah.
which actually happened in Andor because
What,
you had.
twice? Yeah, two.
I don't
one.
know if it happened twice, but it happened in episode 7 because you had episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 was a transition. So if that was the case, there should have been 13 episodes, but there were not.
Yeah. No, I mean it did. It was short. I probably would have liked to see them maybe add,
Got
the
bad news for you,
combat.
brother.
The they must have had a reason for splitting up the production this way, but they did a lot of really good character development. Intermixed with some really good space action stuff. Um, we got to see more of Yu Yang. We got to see more of Sabine with Ahsoka. We got to see Hera with the government. So, I mean, it wasn't the only thing disappointing about it wasn't its length. And
Well, my big theory about the length, if you're thinking about an editing standpoint, since he did the scripts. He's got this long narrative going along. And if they're trying to figure out where to break it, it might have been, if I don't cut it here at 37 minutes, there's no way I can cut it for the next 30 or 40 minutes because it just all goes, I can't put any little thing in there. And it would make sense to cut it there. And I think that's what it was. I think it's like, so I have a feeling it's going to be major.
Even if they have the droids find the shuttle or something, even any little bit extra,
But maybe he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to put filler in. I mean, is because he might have gotten, oh, you didn't need to put that in. That was a waste of our time.
I love big cinematic shots. So if they had like the droids on a hill and you could see the shuttle in the woods down below or something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's I mean, I'm sure he has budget constraints too. So it's like, what's the priority?
I don't know. If you go on IMDb, look at the effects credits.
There's a lot.
There is so much work that goes into these shows by so many people. I mean, I don't think there was one, I mean, costuming and makeup aside, I don't think there was one scene in this episode that didn't have a VFX component.
And probably some that did, and we didn't even realize it. Because, I mean, who knows if they were using the wall to do some of the scenes. I mean, we don't know if you don't know anymore. Sometimes they're getting better and better at that. You could tell at first, but they're getting better and better at that. So who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, even if there's a location for the map monolith at on Seattle, I mean, they have to color the leaves. We had flying Purgle. We had spaceships flying with the flying Purgle. We had a space fight. We had lightsaber combat in space. We had holograms. The senators and holograms. We had
but no droids in space this time, right? We didn't have any droids in space, right?
I didn't see the droids in space. That was something they did a lot in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They had the jetpack droids, yeah. So I mean, it was really cool. I mean, the dogfight, was something that has always been a staple of Star Wars, and I didn't recognize the fighters. So if anybody out there could enlighten me if those fighters have a source or not, or if they're original to
To
this,
me,
I'd love
they
to
look
know.
like not Doku, but Grievous in the Clone Wars.
A little bit.
Didn't they? A
Yeah,
little bit.
so the because they had the thing that kind of hung down. So I was thinking Utapau, but I wasn't 100% sure or not.
Ooh, I would not have equated Autopilot, but you're right. That's where, yes. Folks, I have to apologize to everyone. I'm getting the runtime information that I have provided, not from the internet, but the actual listing on the Disney Channel. And I didn't realize that the credit information, such as today's episode of 37 minutes, is wrong. I'll tell you why it's wrong. I've been quoting the episode runtime, which includes
The credits.
Yes, but the credits of the voiceovers from the other countries.
Yes.
That's an additional 3 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
It was
So I
about
quoted
30-minute
37.
mark. Yeah.
Yeah, today is 37 minutes, so actually it was a 34-minute. And if you include the episode without the credits, it's 31:50, I think.
Yeah.
Without the
If
credits.
if you exclude the recap.
Okay, I wasn't considering that, so
Yeah. But
I
it's kind
got.
of just to go
I hear
once.
you.
Just don't
I mean,
worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
keep that, but at least now we know, and I'm gonna be telling everyone the episode runtime I'm getting is directly off Disney Plus. So I do apologize, but the runtime is wrong because it was kind of infuriating me. But let me tell you this: there are quite a few, and I'd heard this, Greg. So right now, when you were talking about that, and I was like, "Oh, you're not gonna be happy." The Ahsoka stuff is looking to be more like Mandalorian season 1, where they're about 30 minutes plus and the episodes move quick. So,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe because I was under the impression this was going to be a one-off. And I'm really getting pulled into it. But
I don't think this one's going to be a
I'd want
one-off.
more and
No,
more.
I don't either.
I believe, and forgive me, Greg, I hope I'm not being argumentative on this one. I think I just want to say that I think this is going to be their flagship for a little while. I see it going for a little while. It's no accident they've called it part 1, part 2 of an unlimited. This isn't Obi-Wan that was set to run 1, but apparently all of the apron stringers fell in love with it, and now there's going to be another Obi-Wan story.
Good.
Yeah.
And the other thing that they're doing, and it Jeffrey had to remind me that we did already see Ahsoka capturing the Night Sister lady.
Yes.
These are all stories in a timeline with a bunch of the same characters. They're similar characters, and they're crossing over and they're jumping over. So we had Boba Fett's story, but it was still part, of the Mandalorian saga because we had one episode that was Din Djarin. And we also had Ahsoka in both the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. So, you know, for Ahsoka to get her own story in this time frame, awesome. To bring in an adult Sabine Wren, to bring in Hera and young Jason, you know, they're probably not just opening up the way for a whole new universe of story. Oh, excuse me, but to bring in all these other characters into this universe and introduce them, because there has been conjecture. Um, I try not to look at what other people are putting out there before we meet on Thursdays. But going back to Mandalorian, there has been conjecture that Bo-Katan will be the focus of the Mandalorian at some point. And I think and this was the thought I alluded to earlier, I think it would be really cool to have Bo-Katan and Sabine Wren. together doing
Well, let me tell you, Greg, there's a line in this episode that supports that comment. Didn't Hu Yang say something to the effect of, very few Mandalorians ever became
I
Jedi?
became a Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, and we already know Sabine had been in possession of the Darksaber
Yes.
at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, there's just lots.
it could
There's
happen.
lots going on, and there's a lot that could go on.
Yeah, I am unhappy that Andor is only going to run this next one that's coming. That's it. It was projected a 2-season run or whatever. But in a way, I like that because narratively speaking, they know where they're starting and they know where they're ending. And that is unreal when an author gets to do that. I am unhappy because I wanted to see a lot of Andor, but they know their story. We've seen it. They're adding stuff, which is just really cool. And
And the
I love it.
timeline has it so, you know, I mean, they're time boxed into how much they can tell.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Partly by the actor's age, because he's not going to get
Yeah.
any younger.
Yes.
So for him to start, becoming, 5, 10 year, 15 years older than he was when they filmed Rogue One, it's not going to make sense.
Or even, yeah, well, what you just said, a 5-year run, a 6-year run. I
Yeah.
think they could have done this, but you know what? It probably would have done the character disservice now. Sometimes you
Oh, I
you,
agree.
you don't need 26 episodes a year to tell the backstory of a character.
I'd like to, if they do another one, you know, Andor was well bottled. I mean, I was very satisfied with
Oh my goodness,
how,
yes.
how they pulled it together. If they do another one, they can tell a different story. And I think that's one of the things they're doing right about this. They bottled Obi-Wan. If popular, maybe another one. Well, they could do another bottled story. They don't have to serialize it. Mandalorian was a little bit serialized, but there's also a little bit of finality at the end of each one, just in case. We last left, you know, Din Djarin and Grogu hanging out on their planet, at a new homestead. And okay, but we also know Grogu's going to get older too. Um, and so there's a lot of potential there.
Who would have thought, folks, that we would have seen a family story? But then, like, well, wait a minute, Darth Vader, Luke, Leia, duh. No, a genuine parental unit, because the Anakin, Luke and Leia, that's a sick relationship. I mean, there's some darkness there, but I know I'm being sarcastic, but the Grogu and the Mandalorian, it is real. And I think that's what's attractive. We haven't really seen something like that. And I'm probably going to be corrected on that, but I think
Well, I
that,
mean, there's parallels to it. You've got the mentorship of the Jedi and their Padawan. Um, we did briefly see, Jango Fett with Boba Fett, which was twisted in a slightly different way. Um, the
okay, yeah.
you know Ben and Owen and Beru Lars, were very much parents to Luke. We've had, in Obi-Wan, we've had Leia's parents, adopted parents. I wouldn't say, it's unique, but I mean, it's
Well,
done,
Felger card, that took what, 30 seconds to be shouted down. Good job,
well,
Greg.
I mean, it's more of the, the whole thing with the foundling. It's like a different way of looking at, the single father taking responsibility for the kid, and Andy Griffith and Opie, or the courtship of Eddie's father. It's just a different take on that, and in a much different way, and a much more caring way than say the relationship of a Jedi Master and the Padawan.
Going just to Andor back again, I just looked something up. There will be 12 episodes of season 2.
For what?
Andor.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm glad.
So that's that. So that just cooks all off track of everything. So.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
I don't have to think about that. I mean, I didn't dislike Andor, but I'm really enjoying this, early New Republic era.
Yeah.
And, would love to see more of that.
Never seen anything like, and I like it myself. We saw it in the books, but now seeing live action is really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked a lot of the books. I hated a lot of the books. And honestly, I'm really not liking any of the books that have accompanied the new canon, the new Disney canon. I tried to read the first one, and I tried to read the second one. I did read all the way through the first one. I probably read one chapter of the second one, and I'm like,
Of Heir to the
I don't
Throne?
like. No,
You
the
said
newer books.
the newer
The
books.
newer
Oh,
books.
yeah. Okay.
I loved, the trilogy that introduced Thrawn, and the idea that Palpatine was cloned, and the Wasp spaceships. If you haven't read the Heir of the Empire trilogy, people out there, it's an alternate post Return of the Jedi story arc. But I mean, it's such a good story, and they pull in so many characters that are new and lovable, and that they treat the old ones respectfully. And it's just such a really Timothy Zahn's trilogy ought to have been the source material for any movies going forward.
Wow, young man, it was for. I mean, it was the entire. It was the universe.
Yeah,
George
they
Lucas
waited
gave it to
way too
Timothy
long.
Zahn, and
Yeah.
what an incredible universe that was created. And Disney said, "Yep, sorry, it's gone," just like that.
Yeah. Well, timeline wise, I mean, to get Carrie and Mark and Harrison in to reprise their roles in that timeline wouldn't have worked. Um, 30 years later. If they did it 10 years after Return of the Jedi, yeah, it could have worked.
Yeah, well, if wishes were horses, right? I'd always have a
Exactly.
unicorn. That way I could skewer my enemies. Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
That was fast. Sorry. By the way, I did want to say that on the internet at inverse.com, they do quote cryptic 4K Kwai, who correctly predicted the runtimes of The Mandalorian season 3 and Ahsoka so far, claims episode 4 clocks in 42 minutes 38 seconds before credits, and episode 5 49 minutes 50 seconds or 4610. So with credits, 4950.
Yeah, I saw those. So I mean, we are going to get back to close to an hour in some of these.
So then this young man who was with us a little while ago probably called it. He got it right. He said, no, this is just a cross. It's a transition.
Yeah, it must have to do with the way that the acts worked out.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So we'll see. I just wanted one more cinematic shot at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, we may be getting it this time around. Hey, look, it was a good episode. I don't know if you gentlemen have your comments on the grade on this one. If we're already there, what you guys think. I'm going to go on a limb on this one already. Look, this was far from phenomenal. It was far from bad. It was not average, but I think this episode did hint on some stuff. and it had good play. It moved very well. Roger's going to give this one a B minus. I think this was a good episode, a good effort, but that's what I'm going to give it. I don't know if you guys want to give it one or if you still have something else to say.
Do you want to go, Michael? I've been talking.
Well, I'll go. I would give it a B plus because
But you're
just from the
educated.
stuff, just from the things that we've said, it moved well. There wasn't any downtime. I mean, it was well edited, it was well acted, and it's a bridge episode. So is it going to be something phenomenal? No. Because I was debating whether to give it an A minus or a B plus, but I went with the B plus
Oh, wow.
because it wasn't phenomenal, but there really wasn't anything major wrong with it. But there wasn't anything major in it to stand out as the last show that we were reviewing, when I had a couple of A pluses, with Strange New Worlds, because there was just some things that were just like, whoa. But we didn't have any of that in this episode, but it's a bridge. So it looks like I could have some A pluses possibly in episodes 4, 5, or 6. It's very possible if, because this is setting things up. I mean, that's my thoughts. So
Appreciate that, Senator. Sir Darth.
We had, so my biggest criticism of this episode is that it didn't push the narrative very far forward.
Yeah,
break.
that's why I gave it the B minus.
It was a break for character development. We had beautiful space combat scene.
Yeah.
Love those. We got the Purgles. We got so much, we got some information, but we really didn't get the narrative forward. So I think they should have called it, instead of Time to Fly, they should have called it Time Flying.
Ooh, I like that.
We got to see all the characters. It didn't just focus on one. We did get a shot of Phelan Skull. We did get Shin Hati on her, in the fighters. And we did see Morgan Elspeth on the ring. I've been like going back and forth between B minus and B, but God, that dogfight, I'm gonna give it a B.
It was good, man. It was good. I like the fact that the good guys were caught off guard. They thought they were silently coming in, and no, they actually had the bad guys got the jump on them. That was well done. So
And they
great.
were smart to let us know it was going to happen too.
Yeah.
In the last episode, oh, she's coming.
Yeah. And if you think about it, when they went dark on the surface, Balin was like, yeah, they're out in the forest.
yeah, they knew.
He could feel them.
Mhm.
Yes. This guy is a Jedi. He is strong. He can feel other Force sensitives. Yeah. He said it with the assurances. It's like, yeah, I don't care if they're dark. They're out there. Go get
Well,
them.
I mean, that's all. I mean, you see that they descended through the atmosphere.
Well,
They got lost, as they were coming through the atmosphere. They got, the tail lost them. They were scouting. They were flying around looking for them. Couldn't see where they were. They obviously didn't see them go back up. Elspeth's up in space. She could see everything going on. She could have said, "Hey, they didn't come back up."
well, didn't they lose them as they were going through the whales tendrils or whatever?
Yeah. Yes, I understand that. I understand it's just a bridge episode. But even in a bridge episode, you can push the narrative. You can get information.
Greg, yeah, I'm gonna Lothcat, not to be a jerk on this. I agree with Darth because in episode 7 of Andor, it was a transition, but a lot happened in that episode still. It was a transition of episode, of the heist to the second half of the season, but stuff still happened. It still did push the narrative. Yes. So I don't want to be argumentative, but I would agree with Greg on that. That's why I gave it what I did. I gave it a B minus.
Yeah.
There could have been more to it. Was the action in this? It was good. It was. And there's a lot to like in it, but it did not blow me away by any means whatsoever.
If I watched these back to back, like I did Obi-Wan, so I watched Obi-Wan in 2 sittings. The first half got produced. I watched the first half. Waited till the second half to be made available. I watched the second half. If I watched episodes 1 through 4 back to back, I would love this episode. Loved it.
Mm.
Because what I'm waiting for would have been right there waiting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And that's, I mean, I'm used to this, weekly thing again. So it's like, oh, well, just have to deal with it. But we will see.
Folks, I'm okay with this. Don't get me wrong. I did binge. I talked about this already. Both seasons, 2 and 3 of Lost in Space. I binged them. I enjoyed that. I loved it. And then it was also oh my God, we spoke of this, the political one, the one that really put Netflix on the map, that English political series that came over to the United States, Kevin Spacey.
House of Cards.
House of Cards, yeah. Oh my God, that was addicting. The only problem was once you binged it, which I did in about a day, it's like, oh, come on, man. That's the only thing. I enjoy this weekly exchange because we get a chance to think about it, talk about it, and hear other people's. That's the one thing you don't get from a binge.
Right. But some series, it's like I've not really invested in because they didn't make me want to watch it the next week, or they would spend 1 week going in circles. I tried to watch, say, 24. I tried to watch 24 when it first came out. And I watched one episode and I'm like, yeah, I don't like it.
Really? 24?
Then everybody at work started talking about later episodes. And so I waited for it to be on DVD and we Netflixed it. And back when we could get discs from Netflix and we didn't have internet at my house in Maine. And it had a ton of problems for something that was supposed to take place in a day, but the narrative moved better for me because I could see the progression of it, episode to episode. Waiting for it week to week, I don't think I could have done.
Wow. All right, I like that. Michael and I talked about 24 tangentially about a year ago, and I told him, I said, the concept of an entire day just being the season, that's cool. 24. That I got to give you an idea.
Oh, it's an awesome concept.
Yeah. And they did it for 6 years, a movie,
something like that.
Yeah. But I mean, Palpatine, you live in LA. There was one scene in the first season, or one arc in the first season, where they got clear across LA in less than an hour in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I found this in the halls of in the halls of Coruscant. I am the Senate. Just kidding. I should be telling Michael that. Right? I am the Senate.
Actually, I don't even think they were in LA. I think they were outside and south of, and then went up into northern LA.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, Greg, I mean, that drives me crazy on shows that are based in DC because they say that they go from here to here, and I go, that takes me 3 hours.
X-Files.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I know where they're shooting, yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Or they're driving somewhere and they're like passing a block later, and I know they've just like moved 20 miles apart. Like, nah. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. That irritates me.
But if you don't know, people don't. They don't.
By the way, tiny bit of trivia. In the episode Future's End, I think part 2, where Sarah Silverman is in the car with Tuvok and they're driving on the street. If you look very carefully, I know the exact street that they're driving on. They're
Because Roger's
driving.
standing there.
I'm sorry?
Roger's standing there.
Haha. They're on Melrose Avenue. They're going west because in the lower right-hand corner you can see Raleigh Studios. And if you know where Raleigh Studios is, it's just across the street from Paramount Pictures. So they were actually filming blocks from a street at the southern end of the Paramount lot. I thought that was so funny. They're filming Future's End basically on Melrose Avenue. I thought that was kind of funny. It was really
I love
cool.
that they went to the observatory in that
yeah.
episode.
Yeah. It was some good stuff. Part 2, there was something, but it was a good story. I've walked where they are on the Santa Monica Pier and all that stuff. I was like, wow, I know exactly where they filmed all that stuff. Yeah. As a matter of fact, where the doctor is on, he's on like just south of the Walt Disney Theater and the Broad. There is a modern park right in there. Remember in Star Trek Into Darkness, where you see that Kazon ship taking off in the background, and Harrison is running across the street and Spock's chasing him? That is on that street that I'm talking about, just south of Walt Disney, and right about where they filmed Future's End as well. So they actually filmed that part in Los Angeles. They obviously added all the special effects to make it look modern and stuff. But I know exactly where they filmed that. That was crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, we're totally off topic again, but
Oh, what a shock.
Yeah, what a shock.
That was my fault. And Lothcat did say, I'll give that to you both. I'm like, I don't know which one, but it was appropriate.
Oh, it was probably about my criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Fair enough. I do want to give a shout out to the like of Elizabeth Olivia Cooper. Thank you very much for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. We need it. We love it. We appreciate it. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers, and that's really good stuff. Had to put that one in there. Don't forget to check out ndbmedia.net, and we'll see what we're doing moving forward. But yes, Star Trek Lower Decks debuts on Saturday. Not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. So we invite you to join us, and we'll see. And Michael, what is the debut? I know I'm catching you off guard on this one. To upload season 3.
Oh, it's in
September.
October. I thought it was
October.
I thought it was October.
If you folks get a chance to watch Upload, you'll know you've got to give it more than episode 1, though.
Season 1. Yeah.
If you give it episode 1 and 2, you'll know if you'll like the series or not.
I haven't watched it yet, but my wife liked it.
One of the characters, one of the actors was already on our program.
Two
of them. Yes, that's right. I apologize. Mr. Davis was on with us.
Mm-hmm.
Cigarette Man from the
X-Files.
Yeah, from the X-Files. And that was cool.
It's in my list of things to watch.
Well, season 3 is about to debut in October then, Michael?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. You did give me that date, and I'm sorry. And I was going to look it up, but I was too lazy. And I said, well, Michael knows what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I know.
It's like I'm still trying to figure out September. So.
Oh, I got a message from Tiffany. Can you send me the link for today?
Already did.
Oh, you already did?
She didn't want today's, did she?
Well, I don't know.
She's talking about the 11th.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what she sent? She sent a message to you too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. I guess Tiffany's not a Star Wars fan. Blockhead. So, all right. Well, this was good stuff, folks. Ahsoka Part 3, Time to Fly. Roger gave it a B-. Elizabeth gave it a B+. Michael gave it a B+. Greg gave it a B. And I'm going to pin down professionally Jeffrey, because he said between a B and a C. we'll see what we'll get on that moving forward. Good stuff. Any additional comments, gentlemen?
Mm-mm.
I'm
All
loving
right.
this.
I
I'm
saw
just-
the
I'm-
preview to episode 4.
Ooh,
It's
it's
available.
out. Oh, I'll have to go
I
look
think
for
it's been
that.
out at least for a day.
I thought they were waiting. Or maybe was that Strange New Worlds still?
That was
Did it
Strange
play-
New Worlds, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm torn on watching previews. I like to be surprised, but I
know, we
I have
talked about
seen
that
the
last
whole
time.
series. I have seen the whole series preview, and it's like I know there's things I'm waiting to see. Oh well.
Let me tell you, one of the best previews I ever saw was Star Trek The Next Generation. It was for part 1 of Best of Both Worlds. It was next time on Star Trek The Next Generation. The Borg are back. Target 1. I guess they're going after the Enterprise. Target 2, they're going after Picard. And Target 3, they're going after Earth. It was really well done. It was a 30-second promo. And I think the only place that you can really find it other than the DVDs is at trekcore.com. I want to give them a quick shout out. You look up TNG and you look up season 7 under...
Season 7?
I'm sorry, season 3. You look up season 3 and Best of Both Worlds, and they have... Where is it? I think they have it right there.
Yeah, well, just tell people to go there and then
I don't know. I see episode content. Maybe I was wrong. They have a lot of stuff right there. Seriously, though.
you can probably just do a search and you might be able to find it just on the net.
Ooh, it took me forever to find it, man. It was difficult to find it. But it's good stuff right there, folks. So you guys can check it out.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So is there anything else, or we probably should sign off and wait for our next adventure?
I think we're good. Anything else? Let me see. Lothcat says, I gave it to her earlier, and yes, it was for today.
Oh.
I thought so too, but that's okay. But when Michael says, I have a question for you, and I just, yes, no. Usually I tell Michael no just because, it fills this old man with a little bit of authority figure that's missing in his life. So that's why I always tell Michael no.
And then I say, fine. Say, William Shatner will not be on our show then. Fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't be telling me that way. And I don't have the money to afford Shatner. All kidding aside. And, I'm not bitter about it. I'm not. Oh, my goodness. Jack! What the hell, buddy? Oh, I think he's been on vacation.
He's on vacation.
Good for him.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold Greg here because I know it's tired for him. Michael, well, he's already retired. So, but Jag, thank you. Join us, Jag. I hope you're watching Star Wars Ahsoka.
No.
What do you mean? No. I didn't
No, he's
ask you.
not. But I know these things.
Oh, you know that? What, do you talk to him daily or every other day?
Yes.
Well, he can answer right here in chat.
Actually,
Chad,
that
are you
was
watching?
that was an on-screen commentary of personal conversations. Yeah, Greg, that was an on-screen, like, Greg, you're a good person, but you're ego alert. Look, you see, look, there it is. There, he knows. Because these guys speak to each other regularly. Whoa, what the hell? But you know what, Greg? Michael talks to everyone. He's good at it too.
Oh, I know. I talked to Michael earlier.
Okay.
Because apparently you were supposed to have sent me a message earlier.
But he didn't. He just sent it to me. So.
Okay, folks. I have a get out of jail free card today. Michael knows. I don't want to make a big deal of it. I tried to take this off before the episode, but I think Michael saw I tried to peel it off and it started to hurt. I'm sorry, folks. I had a medical emergency today. So there's my little theme for today. I cut it off during the episode, and
Oh no.
there's where they drew the blood out of me today. I actually got some results. A little bit of good news. I was really worried what I had. I've been sick for the last 7 days, folks. And I think Lothcat noticed that on Saturday's program. Lothcat, I was laboring. I wasn't just tired. So I can say this. I appreciate the concern that many people had. You could see on air that I was not feeling well. And oh, really? Really? Jealous there? You bet damn right I was jealous. But today I found out I had an infection, and it's a curable, easy antibiotics and stuff. It's it's strong. It's a severe infection, but the lab came back and they said, "Sir, you're good. You're getting better. You have an infection. It's a bad one, but you're like going. You're out of the valley. You're making your way out of the valley. The best way I can describe it, you know." So
Well, I'm both sorry and glad to hear
yeah, about the low cat.
that.
Yeah, the comment. Yeah, I was like, hmm. So Jag, are you going to join us, dude?
I don't think so. He doesn't want to extend the show. That's what he said in the comments. So
Well, I haven't met him yet, so one of these he should hopefully will come in early.
The rat dog's next door got to you, rabies. Oh, you're funny.
Rat dogs,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knows I call them rat dogs. But
Chihuahuas.
chihuahuas. It's a rat dog. It's a Yorkshire Terrier mix.
Oh, those. Yeah, the ratters.
Oh no, I call it a rat. RARTDOG. It's a rat dog. It's the size. Dude, a rat will scare it. And it makes
and
so
it
much
always
noise.
barked in the middle of when we had ARC guests all the time.
But the funny thing is, it would bark when I would speak.
Yes, it was great. I had to pay that rat dog so much money. I just can't tell you.
Jag, you're not missing much. But Jag, hopefully you will be on with us on September 11th when Mercedes de la Cruz joins us. And we actually have a few other confirmations in the works, but we're just not announcing those right now. But the that's actually funny. I
Of
like
course,
that,
all the
dude.
guys are going to want to be on when Mercedes is back.
Let me tell you, Greg, I'm telling you, buddy, you got to join us.
Oh,
Roman-
I fully intend to.
Oh, he's already put in his reservation.
I really would love to meet Mercedes. She seems very interesting. And now that I know that she does art, and we're going to be talking about art, I'm really excited for that.
We're actually going to be talking about a lot of other things, almost exclusively not of the arc. I mean, we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
no, I know.
Yeah. And folks, for those of our ARC audience, we need to let you know that we will not be taking any questions for season 2. The only thing that we can acknowledge is that there is a season 2.
That's it.
That's
no
it.
Speculation. No nothing.
Nothing. And we were not asked. Okay? And that's as far as I'm going to imply. We were not asked. It was made clear to us. Politely. It was made clear to us politely. But
So we've got Molson. We've got art.
Yeah, dude.
We've got, she can tell us about her other modeling history.
I just touched on it. My jaw dropped because I knew the Molson girl from Canada. And when I saw her again, I said, oh my God, that was you. Yeah, dude, she's done a lot of stuff. And she's a very attractive woman. There's no doubt. But she's got it up here,
Yeah, I really am dying to see the real her. I mean, her performance in the art was
You hated her, didn't you?
Oh, I despised this woman.
I did
I mean,
not
she was
despise.
beautiful, but she was.
Yes, I did not despise her as much as the character from the movie that I mentioned earlier that Elizabeth gave me the name, um, Crimson Tide. Okay, remember the guy from The Sopranos played one of the officers? Oh, well, he played. Oh man, I wanted to belt that as I hate this. He did such a great job. I wanted to belt that SOB. Not with her, but she was easy to dislike. The problem was I disliked her, and then I realized she was on. I'm like, oh man, it's kind of hard to dislike her at that point, but to
Especially
appreciate.
especially when I surprised her coming on early before her interview was.
Yeah, it was all Michael's doing, and it became a regular thing. Michael was getting them to join regularly, which was absolutely awesome. But Greg, I've already said it already on air once, and this is not a shot against my co-hosts, our guests, even myself, or any and every other guest that we've had. I've been doing this for 15 years. Come the last week of September, we will be starting our 16th year.
Wow, that's
We've
awesome.
been on air. And that's my claim. But what I wanted to say at this moment is never in my life have I been on an interview, seen an interview, been a part of, witnessed where a guest is having a conversation and the co-hosts have gone silent, the audience has gone silent because we were so enthralled, dare I say, raptured, caught in what she was sharing with us. It was just, and of course it had to be Roger to say, "Oh my God, the audience has gone silent," and they immediately commented, "We're here, we're here, we're just."
Listening.
They were
That
all
is cool.
enthralled.
So
Greg, I never ever had that. That's deep,
September
buddy.
September 11th, which is a Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6
Yeah,
Hmm.
Pacific.
and Greg, it's gonna suck because that's not gonna be a 15-minute episode.
Oh no, that's fine.
That one's
I'm
gonna
not
go a
expecting
while.
it to be,
That one's
and
gonna go a while.
so I might get punchy, but I'll be
Folks,
respectful.
I'm not expecting her to break any records. I'm not expecting a 3 hour for no, 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 no. I just know it's not going to be a 15-minute episode. Dare I say. But she's entertaining. Everyone from New York has been. Everyone has
Everyone
in
has.
their own way.
Everyone.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
They've all been. Each one has a special moment in our hearts. They all do. But like I said, the
It all
thing about
started with
Mercedes,
Angus.
it did. And then it
Brian.
was Dean Devlin, that was his second time on with us. There might be a technical third, which I forgot about, but we have three NDB Media Dean Devlin moments. But where I had a chance to, like lead a conversation, it was two times. So that was crazy. And then when Mercedes came on, uh, not to be rude or mean or anything, but we know she went to bat for this program. It's not that they were telling us no. It's not that they were blowing us off. Let's just say that she found out that some had not said yes. And Michael, within days, huh? I mean, at a week at most, all of a sudden, we were getting confirmations.
That's awesome.
She went to bat for us, and I know she said something to the effect of, "You guys, you got to join. You guys got to be on."
Well, I mean, the after shows are for like things like Walking Dead and Star Trek are getting so popular, and if Sci-Fi is not producing them, then the only
Um,
way they're going to get them is through the video blogging.
well, let me tell you, they do have Electric Entertainment does have the official one, which they do, but I don't want to say that when it comes to the blogosphere, but no one has done what Michael has done. Hands down. Hands down. No one has had anywhere Other than Electric Entertainment, no one has had the number of guests
from one show.
from the Ark
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
No one has had the number of guests that we have had.
That's awesome.
And a lot of that is the work of Michael, and a lot of that is the work of the guests. A lot of it is the work of the hosts, my co-hosts, dare I say, and I say that respectfully, and the audience. Because let me tell you, the audience drives the episodes,
I've,
not the co-hosts. You know that, Greg.
yep, yep, yeah. I've noticed that, and that's fun.
Let me tell you, we can brag all we want, but the audience, they're reading the comments. They're loving it. And do you know, it was Mercedes that made the comment that she says, I know what happens. And listening to all of you and your theories, she said, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you work through it and how you guess right on some things and how you're just not even close on others. But even she said there were aha moments that they're like, wow. Hey, Alan.
Good evening, Alan.
Thank you for joining us again for another week, Alan. I hear you. You took the day off. It's all good, buddy. We appreciate you coming back again, and we look forward to next week. If you have some thoughts to share right now, go ahead. Well, we actually have gone over. We were talking about our future guests, but Alan, if you want to go ahead and put your comments in there right now. If not, we can have you on next week, and love to have you on, buddy. Let me know, and I'll send you the link. So I do know this Alan, and very talented. I kind of indirectly remember that he was a Star Wars fan, but I appreciate that he's watching the episodes. Did you like the episode, Alan? Tell us that. What was your grade on it, maybe?
And then we'll go.
Yeah. So hurry up, because I know these two
Maybe.
gentlemen are on the East Coast. They're tired.
Old men on the East Coast didn't get their naps today.
Well, and Roger and I need to discuss something about this.
Oh, look at that. I got a yes. So I said a lot of stuff, so I don't know what the yes meant. Solid episode. Yes. Okay. All right. And I think it was a solid episode too, but the narrative.
He'll have to listen to your criticism.
Oh, he should listen to Greg's and to. Oh, look at that! Liked seeing the Purgle. Yep. Yeah. The the star whales. But that's all good. So yeah, it was good seeing them. I did appreciate that. So I appreciate those comments there, Ellen. All right. Well, there was a lot that we went over, and we gave you some cheats and stuff that's coming forward. I'm gonna have to find the videos, gentlemen. And I'm gonna send them over to you. I'm not gonna talk about the one that was very negative, very condescending. So I'm like, dude, they're not answering the blogosphere because this whole series has already been filmed, done. It was a stupid commentary, and the number of views, I just didn't get it. I just did not get it. But there was that one video that talked about the Ray Stevens comment. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Sure,
unfortunately, there's a lot of detractors out there that aren't going to like anything that Disney puts out.
Okay, yes, but I'm glad you brought that up, Greg. One final thought on my thing. Doing this program, I am seeing so many programs about Ahsoka, which I don't think I've seen on other Star Wars programs or Star Trek programs. Folks, I can easily find 10 Star Trek programs that are fairly well known, good and bad. On Ahsoka, there's about 20. There's a lot of people commenting. And in my opinion, this is a good thing for the program. I didn't say they were good episodes or good commentary. People are spending time watching, and they're taking the time to comment. If you have one idiot saying he loves it, Futurama, and you have 18 people saying that they hate it, you kind of know where it's going, what the blogosphere feels. That's not the impression I'm getting, Greg. There's a lot of commentary going on.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, and I'll probably say it every time we talk about the current Star Wars shows, Filoni and Favreau get it. They were us 40 years ago, 45 years ago. They get it. And they know how to put together great stories, bring together great actors, present things in a way that fans will appreciate. They're subtle sometimes with the Easter eggs. Other times they're blatant,
Yeah.
but or they're part of the universe that we deserve to see over and over again, like the Purgle or the T6 shuttle, or Star Wars works because of the familiarity being pulled together. I think Star Trek could probably stand to do a little bit more consistency, but I know that they've got, they want to make their own stand on things.
Yeah. Greg, I humbly would just add, these two are master storytellers. Not only are they, and I appreciate your line, they are us 45 years ago. I appreciate that, buddy. I like that. Yeah, I cannot argue that. I would say yes. So that is good stuff. Okay. So I look forward to that. And we'll see. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap up at this point now. And we want to thank everyone that's joining us. And folks, I've got to tell you, I am blown away by how many people are watching this program across all the platforms and networks. We are humbled and we appreciate and we get the fact that for whatever reason you're not able to join us when we're live, and it means a great deal to us. So even though we're doing this live, we are speaking to you as well. So we appreciate it. And the numbers are surprising to us. We're humbled, and they're growing and growing and growing. And it blows us away. It's one thing to do an episode and you have one viewer. It's another thing that after a week you have 50. After 2 weeks you have 150. After 3 weeks you have 500. That's crazy. That's just mind-blowing to us. And we are eternally grateful. So,
Yes, thank you very much.
but again, we're just the lucky ones being here. We're not the supremacist pigs, which I might have stuttered right there, supremacist pig. But anyway, the audience is what makes the program. Let me tell you, Michael and I have said it over and over. We die when there's no one in the chat room. We just die because it's just you guys make it. We're the MCs. That's it. But sharing with you, that's what we live for. So it's cool. Sorry for getting a little deep right there. Yeah, he might be napping. But all right, folks, I do apologize.
Love talking about geeky shows.
Yeah, and it is expanding. I will know by sometime, hopefully in September, when the Breaking Bad rewatch will begin. But this is going to be a multi-year effort, folks. So I just want to let you know it is going to happen. We still have a horror program scheduled, and we want to do a weekly movie review episode too. I mean, dude, folks, sorry. We have a lot planned for this network, and we'll see. Okay. See you, Loth Cat. And
Good night,
everyone
Loth Cat.
else. Loth Cat, say hi to Elizabeth. And for everyone else, folks, I think we're good.
We're good.
Done. We are out of here. And may the force be with you.